In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how an AI tool can actually run your entire online business. AI tools are everywhere, but most of these are just chatbots. They give you ideas, they can write a plan, and they can answer questions, but can they actually help you run a business? So today I'm testing that one specific business case, building a drop shipping store, selling portable home gadgets from scratch. I will be comparing Claude Code with Axio work. See which tool actually helps you with the full workflow, whether that be the product research, supply sourcing, outreach, follow-ups, store planning, and weekly operations. So the question is simple. Does the AI just tell me what to do, or can it actually help me get the work done? For this test, I want to keep the business case very clear and consistent. I am building a dropshipping store from scratch, focused on portable home gadgets. This could include useful small products for the kitchen, home organization, cleaning, wellness, or everyday convenience. This is a realistic business case because a solo business owner would normally have to do a lot manually. First, you need to find a product idea. Then you need to check if the product has demand. Then you need to find suppliers, compare options, write outreach messages, plan follow-ups, organize consumer and customer or supplier statuses, and create a weekly routine to keep the business moving. And that can easily become 10 or more hours of repetitive work every week. I'm going to test this structure in a simple way. First, I will state the real business problem. Second, I will show you how each of these tools handles that problem. And third, I will look at the result and ask whether the tool actually helped execute the workflow. Again, the important detail here is the execution. I don't want just a nice answer. I want to see if AI can help me move from idea to real business actions. So I will be giving both tools the same task. Here is the prompt. Imagine I run a one-person dropshipping business and want to build an online store selling portable home gadgets from scratch. Help me create a full workflow for finding a trending product, finding reliable suppliers, creating supplier outreach messages, planning follow-ups, setting up customer and supplier status tags, and creating a weekly checklist that could save me at least 10 hours per week. Let's see what happens. First, I'm testing Claude Cowork here. So we'll put this into the latest Opus 4.8 model and see what it comes back with. We can see here it's asking me what format I want the workflow in. So here we'll just go for a simple Word document. The platform, we haven't decided yet, so we'll leave that there. And the product selection will go research the current trends for me. So it's asked a few questions, which is a good start, but let's see what it comes back with. So here we have our full playbook here from Claude Cowork. We can see a full contents page and a full in-depth playbook. So Claude Cowork gives me a good written plan. We can see it's given us finding a trending product, some validation scorecards, and some reputable suppliers here. This, of course, explains some supplier vetting checklist, an example outreach message, sample requests, and some follow-ups. Then we, of course, have some customer follow-ups, some tags here, and service tags. So this, again, helped me create a workflow and how to plan these supply messages, follow-ups, and more. However, as a planning tool, this is useful. It helps me, of course, think through the business idea and gives me a full structure. But the problem is this workflow mostly stops at the planning page. Problem is the work here is still manual, and this is the first real business problem. Claude Cowork can tell me what kind of supply to look for, but I still have to open Alibaba myself, search manually, compare suppliers, copy and paste the outreach messages, personalize every message, track replies, and organize everything myself. So Claude Cowork is useful for ideas, strategy, and writing, but I'm still the person doing the execution. That is the difference, and I want to test this with Axio work. So now we have Axio work, the business automation for small business owners. So I'm on the desktop version of Axio work. And again, this is a business automation tool built for small business owners. It's not just a chatbot or data collector. it actually executes real business workflows. That means Axio Work is designed to help with the practical parts of running a business, like sourcing, supply research, outreach, marketing tasks, follow-ups, and operations. So instead of only asking one chatbot for advice, Axio Work can work more like a team of digital employees helping with different business tasks. So step one is creating agents in Accio Work. The first thing I want to look at is the agents section, which we can come to here on the left-hand side. So we currently have the sourcing agent, global seller agent, which will be good for running our store and dropshipping, and Axio agent. But more importantly is you can actually make your own personalized agents here. So you get a starting point, whether you want a blank agent, assistant, coder, e-commerce expert, financial expert, or product manager. So for this, we'll go for the e-commerce expert here. You can give it a name, give it a nice picture, you get a description and a vibe. So again, you can have it if you want it to be professional, friendly, creative, or more. Then you link the plugins here. So these plugins are pre-attached to every conversation with that agent, kind of like, I guess, skills or extra features for the agent. So we'll add the global sourcing toolkit here and the global seller agent, and then the skills. So these are pre-configured skills, which I have already added, but we can actually add some recommended skills here. So for example, we can add some SEO and ad skills. So we simply just tick those and that will be added onto our agent. We get a user profile for an agent here. So we can just give him a nickname, call him Ryan. Again, just like a full employee. And here we can see our e-commerce expert. That agent has now been created and you can directly chat with the agent. So what you can do to create a full business is actually make a team of your agents and they work like colleagues working together. So if we click create team on our e-commerce agent here, we can then create our team and add other agents and multiple agents into the team. So for example, we have our e-commerce agent in there. We can add our sourcing agent. And also I can actually use a Telegram channel that I have set up here. So then we have orchestration mode where it will break down tasks and delegate them to specific members, which is what you want because agents specialize in specific tasks. So let's even add Axio as our daily sourcing agent here. We'll just call this marketing team and create that team. And now we have our team created. We can see it down at the bottom here. We can ask a task, for example, source me some products and see how they would fit onto my website. So here we can see, first off, the e-commerce agent has got our task and we can see this task delegation field here, which really is a game changer. So we can see the e-commerce expert here is then going over to our sourcing expert. So the e-commerce expert has found us some products and then the sourcing expert will then go and source those products for us here. And then once those products are sourced, our e-commerce expert will then respond and show how they would look on our website. So here we can see again, we have the supply comparison. It goes back to the e-commerce expert. And then we go back to the Axio agent here giving our full report. So this is really impressive because again, you can have multiple agents, each one very specialized in a specific skill. And once you set your team on a task, you don't even have to prompt anymore. They will contact each other and do the processes for you all completely on their own. Step 2, add e-commerce and sourcing skills. So if we go to the plugin section and then we can head into the skills tab here. This is where I can add specific business skills needed for the online store workflow. So for a portable home gadget dropshipping store, I want these skills related to e-commerce, sourcing, supply research, negotiation, content, or operations. For example, Axio Work can use skills for the 1688 sourcing. So we can simply click to add this. Additionally, we can add the CJ dropshipping API and at a one click that gets added. We have product supplier sourcing, supplier performance manager, sales negotiation. We have, of course, the dropshipping as we've already touched on here. So this is important because the business problem isn't just one task. I need product research, supply discovery, supply comparison, outreach, follow-ups, customer tags, and weekly planning. So these skills help Axio work move closer to execution instead of just giving general advice. Step 3, we will be heading into the connector section here, and I will be connecting Alibaba.com to Axio work. So this is where Axio work starts to feel like a very different to a normal chatbot. If an AI tool is going to help run a business, it needs to connect with the platforms where the business actually work is happening. And for this test, I will connect my Alibaba.com account inside Axio work. So here we can see many different connectors you can use. And here on Alibaba.com, we can simply click to connect. Continue on the authorization, and this has given me a pop-up to log in with my Alibaba account. And wow, we can see here already Alibaba.com connected, and we can see now it is fully connected here inside Axio work. I didn't expect it to be that simple as a one-click connection, and now this is ready to help me with supply sourcing. And it's important because, again, Axio work can now move from saying what I should do to actually helping me do it. Then step 4, we will move into organization workflows here with channels. So these channel page here inside Axio work, this helped me keep the workflow organized instead of jumping between different tabs, tools, and messages. For a one-person business, this matters because a lot of time is wasted between switching apps and trying to track everything manually. With Axio work, I can manage how I communicate with agents and how the workflows are managed across different steps. We can see you can config whether that be through Telegram, Discord, DingTalk, WeChat, and Fishu. So now the setup is ready with our agents, our skills, connectors, and channels. Now I will give my newly created agent the exact same task here. Imagine I run a one-person dropshipping business and I want to build an online store selling portable home gadgets from scratch. Help me create a full workflow for finding a trending product, reliable suppliers, supply outreach message, follow-ups, customer service, status tags, and a weekly checklist that can save me at least 10 hours per week. So Axio work, here we can see it's helped with some product selection. We then have a direction here about hunting the daily trend sources. A sourcing criteria. We have the supplier discovery and vetting here with a dual performance sourcing strategy using AliExpress and CJ dropshipping. Our supplier outreach engine, a couple templates, automation follow-up, and some tagging and CRM status here. So this was returned a lot quicker than Claude Cowork, which is what I was happy with. But of course, we have our workflow here. And of course, this would have been way faster than doing all of this manually. We can see, of course, our time saving. And I like here that it's given us a conclusion and action steps here. So next up would be to install DSs or CJ dropshipping on our Shopify store so we can sync these products, save free these outreach templates for Alibaba, and set some calendar alarms for our sessions. So the next problem is I, of course, need real suppliers for my product here. So again, the ideas are not enough. I'm actually building a dropshipping store. I need real supplier options. And this is where chatbots usually stop. They can tell me what to search for, but then I have to do the work for myself. So I will ask Axio work directly to find me supply options for the home gadgets store. Because I have connected Alibaba.com inside Axio work, Axio work can now help with the supply search directly. And here we can see the suppliers it has worked on here. So we can see Axio work has found me the supplier names, we have the products, direct links, and it will show me how to reach out with them. So after we have these suppliers, what Axio work can do is really a bit of a game changer. We can select the suppliers that we want, or for example, we can just go for a load of these here. And then once we have these suppliers selected, we can then ask Axio work to actually use the agent to follow up, request quotations and negotiations with them. So at the bottom here, I have the Axio sourcing toolkit, which we will be using to negotiate with the sellers on Alibaba. And then I can ask Axio work, well, more importantly, the global seller agent, follow up and request quotations with the suppliers, and then negotiate the best prices. So here we can see the response. They've sent the inquiry and enabled the AI auto chat. All 5 of these suppliers were contacted. And what's good is we can actually click in to view these chat details. So this opens up the chat on Axio Work here, and we can actually see the inquiry that has been sent. The supplier has already gone back to us, and it's actually gone back and forth saying we're looking for 100 pieces per model, share a catalog of prices, and then it sent us some PDFs. And here we can see the messages with all of these different suppliers. And again, all of this was done automatically through our agent, which is incredible. And then we can, of course, see we have an inquiry record saved. After this, I can continue negotiating and communicating, handle these replies, give me conversation summaries moving forward. So I don't even need to leave Axio Work here. It will do all of it for me, summarize it for me. And again, you can turn auto chat off anytime. You can, of course, check if they've responded. For this one, let's go show the current sourcing requirements. So here we can see the current sourcing requirements with the requirement list and these user instructions. Again, these are saved on our device for the agent. And for example, if you wanted to change the purchase quantity or shipping destination, you could do this. And then the AI auto chat negotiation would then, of course, update based on your brand new requirements. So with all of this from the website setup, you then have the product sourcing through trending products, supplier sourcing, full negotiation. This is your complete business workflow setup with Axio Work. So now we have a full end-to-end workflow. It looks like this. The business problem, again, as we started with, was I wanted to build a dropshipping store selling portable home gadgets, but I didn't want to spend hours manually researching, sourcing, emailing, and organizing everything. Axio Work solution here. The use of our agents, skills, connectors to help build everything in our workflow step by step. The result here is that Axio Work helps with our product direction, our supply strategy, supply discovery, supplier outreach emails, Gmail connection, one-click email sending, automated follow-up planning, status tags, and a weekly business routine. That is much closer to what I need as a solo business owner. This is not just AI giving me information, this is AI helping me run a business process start to finish. So here's the comparison. Claude Cowork is still strong for planning, writing, and strategy. It can help me think through the business and create a useful plan. But after that, I still have to do most of the work manually. Axio Work here is different because Axio Work is built around execution. Axio Work gives me agents, digital employees, business skills, connectors, and workflow organization. For the dropshipping store test, Axio Work does not just help me plan the business. Axio Work helps me move through the actual workflow of building and running it. So can Axio Work save 10 plus hours per week? This is where the time-saving part comes clear. Product research again can take hours. Supply research can take hours. Writing outreach messages, personalizing them and sending them, tracking replies and organizing follow-ups can take even longer. Doing all of those manually each week can easily add up to 10 hours for more. With Axio Work, I still need to review the results and make the final decisions, but a lot of the repetitive work is handled much faster, and this is way faster than doing it manually, especially if you're a solo business owner trying to run everything for yourself. So the final verdict, is Axio Work worth it? If you only want basic AI answers, maybe not. A lot of AI tools can give you ideas, write messages, and create plans. But if you're a small business owner, e-commerce seller, or solopreneur trying to actually build and run an online store, Axio Work makes a lot more sense. The value of Axio Work is not the answer. The value of Axio Work helps execute the business workflow. For this test, Axio Work helped move the business plan to solution with real results. Product direction, supply search, outreach emails, Gmail connection, one-click sending, a follow-up workflow, and weekly operations. That's why Axio Work feels less like a chatbot and more like a digital business team. So you can download Axio Work for desktop using my link in the description. There may also be bonus credits available through the link. Let me know in the comments what part of your business you want Axio Work to automate first. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.